Coming up on Bloom, what foods should you be eating to support your thyroid health? A top doc weighs in. Joining us now with how our guts are directly linked to our thyroid health is Dr. Cathleen Gerenger. Dr. Kathleen, welcome back to Bloom. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too, Gail.
So it's amazing to me, I have thyroid issues, as you know, and the more women I talk to, it seems to be more and more common. Why is that?
Yes, about 20% of us women are walking out there with underlying thyroid issues.
Yeah, and so what's causing it?
A lot of times it's multifactorial. It's in our environment, it's also genetics too, and also it's in our food. We're not consuming the right nutrients to support our thyroid to function properly.
So you're saying our gut is directly linked to our thyroid health?
Absolutely. What we consume, everybody thinks you eat something and it goes right out. It's like, no, those nutrients have to be broken down into little molecules and it feeds your different organs. And of course, the thyroid is totally connected to our gut microbiome.
Now, you talked about environmental issues, and no, we're not taking you back to any of your science classes, but here you have the periodic table of elements, something that probably most of us don't remember, maybe magnesium, sodium, things like that. But right over in here, you say there is a reason of why we're not absorbing what we need to absorb for our thyroid health.
Absolutely. So with the thyroid, it's so important for it to function properly. And when we talk about environmental toxins, fluoride is what we find in toothpaste, in our water, chloride in our swimming pool, in our water, and then bromide is in our plastics. These, through halogens, they call it, they compete with the receptor cells of iodine. And your thyroid needs iodine to function properly.
So what are sources of iodine?
Sea vegetables, kelp, dulse flakes, and then anything that's high in a green leafy vegetable. It really helps to support your thyroid.
Now, I don't want to go too deep in the weeds with blood testing because that can get complicated for the viewer, but you really do thorough examinations of someone's blood draw. You ask for more than the typical doctor asks, T3, T4, so many. You need to see the whole picture to know what's going on with the thyroid.
Absolutely, because we have something called standard range. Standard range is like this wide range that it's a set of healthy people that falls within that range. And then we have something called optimum range. Optimum range is where we want to catch it at a cellular level before it becomes a major issue.
Yeah, because that's what's happening to so many of us. I mean, it happened to me. I was under incredible stress at one point in my life, and all of a sudden my body just came crashing down. And so you're trying to support thyroid health before it becomes an issue, before you start to rely on medications or even worse, turning into Hashimoto's disease.
Absolutely, and it can start as a teenager. The signs and symptoms of teenager with underlying hypothyroidism or hypothyroidism, some kind of thyroid imbalance, constipation, that's a red flag. Anxiety, feeling anxious all the time. They always have gut issues. Their menstrual cycle is kind of out of whack. And then between your 20s and your 30s, again, all those symptoms above, and then weight gain, and sometimes it can lead to infertility. The next range is about 30 to 40. More weight gain, stress, adrenal comes into play, and then hair loss, brittle nails, all that stuff, skin problems, sensitivity to cold, and then when we're into our 40s and our 50s, brain fog. You can see that trend, right? It's leading one thing to another, but yet my doctors say my thyroid's fine.
Because they're looking at this broad range that was set up a million moons ago, and it really doesn't apply to what women are dealing with today.
Yes. You got it.
So, how do you guide your patients? What are some of the things that you do and teach them to keep their thyroid health in check?
Well, first, what I do is that I do establish a baseline. I want to see what's going on in your blood. I want to see what's going on to your body, inside your body. So what we want to do is establish a baseline so then our care is tailored towards you, more personalized, precise type of medicine.
So is it a warning sign if your doctor just keeps upping your thyroid thyroid medication and just keeps, because then that means you're not getting to the root of the problem.
Absolutely. And the conversion in the thyroid between T4, which is inactive form of thyroid, to T3, active form of thyroid, occurs in your gut and also in your liver. So we talk a lot about the gut microbiome. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the liver next.
Okay, and so what are some of the foods that we should be eating to support our thyroid health?
I would definitely say foods that are like sea vegetables, like dulse flakes, seaweed, things that are very high in iodine. And what we want to do is that we want to make sure that you also make sure that your body's very alkalizing. Any kind of green leafy vegetables would really help.
What about ginger?
Oh, I love it. Ginger is a very anti-inflammatory. I actually slice some ginger and throw it in my coffee.
You do?
Yes, I do.
That's a trick I've never heard of. Does it taste delicious?
Yes, it tastes delicious.
Okay, I'm going to give that a try because I love ginger too, and I'm always looking for ways to work it into my diet. But now I'm going to put it in my morning cup of joe.
Absolutely. Just slice it off and just put it in your coffee, and then you have the antioxidants, and you counteract your acidic in the coffee.
See, pro doc tip right there. Dr. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us on Bloom. It's always so great to see you.
Thank you so much, Gail, for having me here.
Absolutely. And I will connect you with Dr. Kathleen on WFLA.com/Bloom.